Hey, it's Yuri. Hope you're having an amazing day. And today I'm going to share with you 3 ways that stress can be making you fat. So what I mean, we all know that stress is pretty, it's not a good thing, right? I mean, chronic stress. And the problem is that our body is kind of hardwired to deal with stress in the same way that it has been designed to deal with stress since the beginning of time. Back hundreds of thousands of years ago, it was okay if our body responded with that fight or flight response if we were being chased by an animal or if we had to hunt our prey for dinner. And that's still in effect today. And that's still fine in the short term, right? If you're going down an alleyway, you want to be able to respond to run or fight if you have to. But when that stress response is happening every single day as a result of work stress, financial stress, emotional stress, whatever else is going on in your life, that becomes a chronic problem, which can lead to a myriad of problems, including a kind of an obstacle really in your way of losing weight. So I want to share with you 3 ways that stress is really just like sabotaging your ability to lose weight. So number 1 is that we get an increased release in cortisol. And that's really important to understand because cortisol is one of those hormones that's kind of been demonized. It's like, oh my God, it's bad. But here's the reality. You don't want too much cortisol nor too little. It's really the balance that's important. And cortisol is actually very important because it kind of provides a bit of a protective layer around your body's cells for them to cope with stress. But when you have too much cortisol, that's when the problems start to arise. Now, too much cortisol, among other things, can increase inflammation in the body, and also vice versa. If there's too much inflammation in the body, we get high cortisol. And the problem with high cortisol is that, from a weight gain perspective, is that it tends to lead to abdominal weight gain. So it has a propensity for visceral fat, so around the viscera, the abdomen. And so if you're chronically stressed out, over time, again, this is not something that happens overnight, but over months, years, you're going to start to notice that your belly fat is just like, where did that come from? And it might not be pounds, it might just be a layer of skin. You pinch your skin, and you're like, where did that come from? So that's the first way. So cortisol, we definitely want to manage that. I'm going to give you a couple ideas at the end of this video to do that. Now the second thing is a lack of sleep, right? I don't think it takes rocket scientists to really realize that if you're stressed out, if you're anxious, if you're worrying, if you're always thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? What's going to go on? That is going to, especially if this is happening at night, right? That's going to compromise the quality of your sleep. And if you're not sleeping well, then you're not going to be having a very easy time to stay lean. The reason for this is many. There's things that happen to your thyroid hormone when you're not sleeping properly, but I want to talk about just 2 hormones specifically, leptin and ghrelin. They are basically your hunger hormones, right? So ghrelin tells your brain, I'm hungry. Leptin tells your brain, I'm full. And when you're not sleeping properly, right, so you're not getting adequate sleep, what ends up happening is that those hormones kind of become a little bit more out of whack. So leptin tends to go down and ghrelin tends to go up. So if you have more ghrelin, then your brain is constantly getting the signals that says, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So if that's happening, then guess what's going to happen? Well, that's going to lead us to number 3 here, which is too much eating. So I'm going to relate 2 and 3 together here for a second. If you're not sleeping enough or getting good quality sleep, your hunger hormone ghrelin is saying eat more food, right? So that's the first way you're going to start eating more. But secondly is that when you're stressed out, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you tend to crave carbohydrates, salty foods, right? And those are not really the foods that are going to help you lose weight, especially not the types of carbs that we tend to eat when we're stressed out, right? The pizzas, the hamburgers, the breads, the chocolates, the sugar, right? So those are all types of foods that are very soothing, predominantly for some of the neurotransmitters in our brain that are negatively affected by chronic stress. So as you can tell, stress is a really important thing, and it's not a very helpful thing to experience on a regular basis, especially if you want to lose weight. Now, not just from a weight loss perspective, but overall health. Right? We know that stress is really kind of the foundation for most disease, and when it comes to managing it, It's really easier in theory, I guess, than it is in practice. So I'm going to just mention a couple things, but I go into more detail in my upcoming book, The All-Day Fat Burning Diet, which you can actually pre-order depending on when you're watching this video, along with some really, really awesome bonuses. The link for that will be on this video or below it or somewhere. So go check it out. It's an amazing book. It's called The All-Day Fat Burning Diet. A huge component on stress and how to reduce it. But anyways, a couple ideas here is, first and foremost, keep a gratitude journal. Really simple. You cannot be stressed out if you're grateful. So instead of thinking about, I don't have enough of this, or why is this person pissing me off, or whatever's going on, express gratitude for what you do have and for the people that you do love in your life. Really simple exercise. Do it in the morning. I do mine first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed. It literally changes your life. It changes your outlook. It changes the way things happen in your life. It changes your ability to recognize when things are going well, when otherwise you may not have even seen those. So that's a really simple strategy. If you're not doing it, it's not because you don't know how to write or you don't have a pen or a pencil. It's simply because you don't want to do it, right? So I'm really urging you here. It's a simple act that will make a big difference for you. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is obviously a little bit of meditation. So a little bit of meditation, especially whenever's going to work for you. So for me, it's first thing in the morning. I'll meditate for about 10 minutes, get myself centered, visualize what I want to create in my life, visualize the good, what I'm grateful for, as opposed to the stuff that kind of stresses us out. Really simple stuff, okay? So I'm not gonna overwhelm you with 1,000 different things, because you don't need 1,000 different things. You just need a simple 1 or 2 things that you actually do day in and day out. Okay, so if this makes sense for you and you want to get rid of stress and you want to be able to lose weight, then once again, take action on the gratitude journal and the meditation, and also be sure to check out my upcoming book, The All-Day Fat Burning Diet, which is going to help you reset your metabolism to lose up to 5 pounds per week without counting calories, without dogmatic diet rules, and without grueling hours of exercise, which only stresses your body out even further. So again, it's an amazing book. You can grab a copy below, in addition to over $116 worth of free bonuses that I'm giving you just for picking up the copy in advance. Cool? So that's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.